been a little while since I finished the first chapter, and I've had some spiritual healing. I went away for a weekend to visit my partner and feed some giant tortoises and wander about in the wilderness. All throughout that, when I wasn't thinking about how lovely a time I was having, I was also thinking a lot about Higurashi When They Cry, because this game has completely enveloped me. I am so intrigued at how this will be going. It kind of shows in some of the pictures I've been taking. I've been trying to find settings and sort of aesthetics that I feel match the settings and aesthetics of Higurashi and of Hinamizawa. It's very much clear to me that I'm kind of going through a potentially life-changing piece of media right now. When something becomes so all-encompassing in my head, I know that I'm kind of, this is the sauce, this is it. So I'm very excited to be starting chapter 2. I have no clue what to expect. I don't know how this is necessarily going to work. Chapter 1 ended with half of the cast dying, and many unanswered questions. I'm deeply concerned about Rena. All chapter 1 seemed to do was make me know less about her and just feel... Chapter 1 was kind of like, yeah, you don't know a fucking thing. You can play around with theory crafting, but there are very clearly aspects to these characters that you're not even close to understanding yet. I'm worried about Satoko, who I'm quite worried is like God's most punished Blabo. She's really fucking been through it, and I don't know. I'm worried about them all, in truth. I'm also worried about the audio level, so we'll probably quickly stop this recording to check that it's sounding okay, because for a few of the sessions in chapter 1, the audio was way too low. And it bothered me just as much as it bothered others, I'm sure. I was fucking well annoyed listening to that. So let's have a quick check. I'll be right back. Okay, I think that's okay. If it's not, I apologise. We'll get it sorted the next time. But I think I can't put it off anymore. I'm simply too curious. I have to find out what the hell's going on. And I don't think that'll be happening today, but we'll make a start anyway. At the very least, we can do that. Wa Tanagashi, the most possibilities. Cotton drifting chapter. How was your taste of life in Hinamizawa? A curse? Or a conspiracy? I believe you have fully enjoyed everything and everyone seeming suspicious. Here at last. It is no surprise attack, but a real direct incident. Please enjoy it. The difficulty is lower than Onikakushi, but extremely vicious. What does difficulty mean? I'm going to have to sort of see the trend of this chapter, see what happens, compare it to the first chapter, and try to ascribe some, like, values to what difficulty means in this context, because I mean, it was their first chapter sure was difficult. I think we may have lost our minds. So let's see what happens here. You can't be doing this to me. The laughter. You can't do this to me. I will not quench your thirst, for you seek the truth and could not accept that. I will not quench your thirst, for the truth you desire does not exist. But I still want to quench your thirst, for I am the one who cast you into the desert. Oh. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or organizations is coincidental. AD 1983, the early summer of the 58th year. Higurashi When They Cry. The chirping of birds served as my alarm clock. Huh? Wasn't today Sunday? Wasn't it basically my style to stay up late on Saturday and sleep through the morning on Sunday? Why was I waking up at this disgustingly wholesome hour? Back to sleep. Back to sleep. Keiichi, are you awake? You have a phone call. At that moment, the sound of my mother calling me from downstairs finally registered. What day is it? We're Keiichi, and we're alive. Is it before the funeral, after the funeral, after the festival, before the festival? I'm so adrift. I'm so confused. Phone call? I sprang up out of bed abruptly and stampeded noisily down the stairs. He's awake. I'll put him on right now, my mother informed the person on the other end of the line. Hello? It's me. Who might this be? Morning, Keiichi-kun. You're such a sleepyhead, such a sleepyhead. Oh, Rina. What's up, calling so early in the morning? I don't think it's so early. It's the middle of the day, you know. It was 11 o'clock. I guess you could loosely consider that the middle of the day. So, what's up? Hold on a second. I'll put Mii-chan on now. Oh yeah? Oh hiyo, Kei-chan. If I were to say it in English, that'd be good morning. Because that is the language that we speak. Well, while we're at it, why don't you try saying it in Chinese, German, and Russian as well? Ni hao, Kei-chan. Guten Morgen, Kei-chan. Russian? Does Vidanya? How the hell should I know? Well, whatever. This stupid conversation has woken me up. That's good to hear. So, Kei-chan, you free right now? If you're good, then we got everybody. Everybody? Did she mean all the club members? That's right. You might be thinking, every day always ends in heated competition, but at least I can spend my day off peacefully. You're too naive, Kei-chan. Yeah. The aim of our club is to find the best solution for every situation. In other words, we don't care if it's the weekend. Ooh, it looks like you've come to understand our club. So how about it? Can you come? I had absolutely nothing planned that day. If I were to refuse Club President Mion's invitation, what other fun ways to pass the time would I have? It's not like I planned on doing anything. And if I said no, you'd probably just declare me the loser by default and force a penalty game on me anyways. What the fuck is going on? If you understand that much, then you can't refuse, right? If you're okay with it, then meet at the usual place at 1 o'clock. We're going into town, so bring your bike, okay? Going to town? Club activities in town? Well, we could do them anywhere. And besides, since it was a new venue, there was no way this wasn't going to be intense. I'm holding a pretty big grudge from that narrow loss a couple days ago. I'll say it right now, I'm not going to lose. A couple of days ago was Friday's club activities. That uncompromising poker match. Wait. It was a fight to the death. Nobody held back. Nobody could tell who was in the lead or who was last until all the points were tallied. I love poker, why couldn't I watch that? In the end, I won by only 1 chip. Mion came in second. Damn it! To think if I hadn't squandered that 1 chip! Mion lamented thus, perhaps more so than the fact that she had lost the match. Mion doesn't lose. That's why Mion only whined when she let the champion's throne slip through her fingers. That's why she was more frustrated than anybody over a close loss. So, did she mean for today to be a grudge match? Bring it on. Just like last time, I'll shut you down and make you play that penalty game. Make sure you play in a way that you won't regret it when you lose. Wouldn't have it any other way. It'll make it all the better when I crush you. After that, we exchanged jeers for a bit before hanging up the phone. As I headed back upstairs hastily to get the key to my bike, I bumped into my mother as she was carrying a futon down. Oh, Keiichi, you seem like you're in a good mood. Heading out? Something like that. I'm going into town to play with everybody. Take care. Watch out for traffic. I'll be back before dinner. Yeah, I'll be back by then. It's nice to see happy Keiichi again. I've missed that a little bit. I just wish I knew what date it was. Like, where are we? Like, what's going on? After unlocking the chain from my bike in the garage, I revelled a bit in the resistance the slightly stiff pedal gave as I pushed on it. Alright, let's go. I set off on my bike, cutting through the refreshing morning air. Keiichi-kun! You're late! Sorry to keep you waiting. Huh? Where are Satoko and Rika-chan? Rather than meeting up with them here, it's a lot quicker to just meet up in town. Oh, I see. If I remember correctly, Satoko and Rika-chan's houses were on the other side, past the school. Oh, yeah. What's up with doing club activities in town? Well, it can't be that everybody's going to put on masks and rob banks all day, is it? I wouldn't mind doing that. Even then, I wouldn't lose to you. You see, Mii-chan always tells me the routes and schedule of the armoured bank cars. I wonder why. What do you mean, me? What do you mean, Mion? Why do you know the routes and schedule of the armoured bank cars? What? I spun around with a serious look on my face and looked at Mion. Well, it certainly seemed possible that Mion was capable of doing that. Seriously, Mion? Rina? What are you saying? Sorry, Mii-chan, sorry. The two of them joked around. That bright laughter was the best match for a beautiful day like today. Hey, you two. Satoko and Rika-chan are waiting for us, aren't they? Well, let's stop fooling around and get going. Around and around, fooling about like 2 fluttering butterflies. I earnestly wished I could just keep watching them like this. But the 5 of us together would be absolutely more fun. That's right. Well then, let's go. Okay, so. Elephant in the room. We clearly don't know what happened last time. What happened last time, I don't know what... Is this like I don't know if this is like an alternate timeline or something, or like a second chance. Did that happen last time, or has it been sort of removed from existence and we're back and this is it now? What was the consequence of what we did? When we killed these 2 people, did we actually... Is that still a thing that existed, that happened, that we did? The goal is to plunder 1 billion. Once we split the loot, everybody scram. Yeah! The 3 of us on our bikes headed over the gently sloping hill towards town. Accelerating hard, we crested the hill. Ooh. The view expanded as Okinomiya Station came into sight. I occasionally come to the station here. Considering the amount of effort it takes to get here though, it was quite a hassle. That's why I didn't know much about the area around the station, or Okinomiya itself for that matter. The street we were headed down today was of course unfamiliar to me as well. Going through the railway crossing, we headed past the south end of the station. Oh, I love these settings so much. This is the first time I've been this way. Around here, there's lots of things like arcades and toy stores. Mi-chan knows a lot about it. So there's an arcade. Well, I used to go to one pretty often. Oh, my gamer's blood roils within me. Always going to an arcade. Kei-chan, you're quite the delinquent. Next time we're here, I'll show you where it is. It's a good one. There's quite a few machines. It seemed like the town of Okinomiya was Mion's stomping ground. If I asked her, she could tell me a lot of things about it. Eventually, we came across a store with quite a few bikes parked in front of it. Was this the arcade? No. It was a smaller shop. Looking at the window display, it seemed like your everyday toy shop. But for almost 10 kids to be filing in and out of the store, they were doing almost too well for themselves. Could it be that store is having some kind of event today? Exactly. Top prize is 50,000 yen. 50,000? What the heck is that? That's the GNP of the People's Republic of Keiichi 5 times over. Two cute figures messing about the front of the store noticed us and waved their hands. Oh, it's these two. I missed these two towards the end. They stopped appearing. Probably for the best, considering how bad things were getting. But, you know. Hello, everybody. We've been waiting for you. Good morning. Hey. Morning, Rika-chan. Satoko, we'll settle this before the cops get here. The goal is to plunder 1 billion. Huh? Keiichi-san, I have no idea what you're talking about. Are we late? Did we keep you two waiting? We finished early today, so we've been waiting a while. I'm sorry about that. Kei-chan here was taking his sweet time. If it was Keiichi's fault, it couldn't be helped. Saying that, Rika-chan stretched up and began patting Mion's head. Hey, wait a minute. Are you solving everything by making me the bad guy? Of course. Who else but Keiichi-san could fill this important role? Oh, I don't like being cast like that. If you think that this'll solve everything, you're sorely mistaken. I was feeling slightly irritated, so I began to repeatedly smack Satoko on the head. Smack, 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 smack. I'm assuming they're, like, you know, light little taps as opposed to, like, full-on fucking belts. I have to assume that, because no one could hurt Satoko. I wouldn't allow it. I simply would not. Keiichi-san hit me! Wah! It's such a shame that Keiichi's bullying you. Satoko's crying! She's crying! I'm taking her home! Oh god, Rina... I still find this deeply concerning. More now than ever. More now than ever. I think now is maybe a good time for me to consider my thoughts on Rina. There's obviously... So, what do we know about Rina? Let's remind ourselves. Rina used to live in Hinamizawa. Around the time of the first incident of the dismembering, she moved away. But if you move away from Hinamizawa, then you're cursed. She started smashing the windows in her school. She beat up 3 kids. And during the sort of follow-up doctor's appointment, like psychiatric session, she talked about the god, Oyashiro-sama. That she saw Oyashiro-sama, that it appeared sort of before her bed now and again. And not long after that, she moved back to Hinamizawa. She's quite protective. She finds it cute when people are struggling or in like a pathetic state, it seems. She likes collecting trash. She is pretty obsessive about people not transferring or not moving away. And she's very capable of punches and kicks, and has grown more capable since Keiichi moved here. I think she has this like morbidly protective streak to her, but in such a way that like it kind of defies logic and, you know, being reasonable. All this is to say, I'm still very concerned. I'm concerned because I really don't... I feel like we only got a hint of Rina, and it was sort of unceremoniously cut short. That doesn't mean that it's sorted. That doesn't mean that we've seen it and we know it all. It just means we know that something is wrong. What's wrong? I'll think about it. All I can do for the time being is just keep an eye on her and sort of mentally note down things and try and vocalise my thoughts as best as I can. With a full understanding, I think shared between myself and you watching, that I don't know a single fucking thing right now. I only know what this game wants me to know and what this game wants me to think. I very much have not even scratched the surface. I've not chipped enough off of this fucking iceberg to, like, turn the tears in my glass into on the rocks. With all my theories at this point are likely to be very wrong or missing vital information. But it's fun to sort of say them and watch them develop as we get more info. And it's fun to look back on them. It's fun to look back on how wrong they were, and it's very fucking funny to look back on the times that you get things right. Anyway, that's the end of psychoanalysis of Rina. We must progress onwards. Your big sis here will take care of the bad guy, okay? Oh! We've been obliterated. Wow, okay. Quick start to the violence this time. You know, it was a bit of a slow burn in the first chapter, but we're already kicking it off. Rina ecstatically wiped the tears, which were probably fake, from Satoko's face, while Rika-chan gently patted mine as I lay sprawled on the ground. Yes, this is fine. Yep. This is the way things are supposed to be solved. Although, I think we should find a new punchline before you start losing teeth. Punchline. Well then, oopsie daisy. In any case, the greeting for today went well. Inside the toy shop, there are around 10 boys around the same age as me. Apparently they all knew Mion, and finding out that she arrived, they greeted her with jeers a few at a time. Mi-chan is a regular at this toy shop, so she has a lot of friends. A regular at a toy shop? What's up with that? Hey, Keiichi-san, take a look back here! Following Satoko's prompting, I took a look. There were chairs lined up at tables, almost like some sort of birthday party. Is this a game shop? Is this like a game shop where we can play board games and stuff? I know that Mion is into games. I would fucking love this place. I realised it immediately. It couldn't be. This is the venue for today's club activities? Surprised, Kei-chan? I'm good friends with the owner here. He sometimes lets me hold game tournaments to expand his customer base. Expand his customer base. I see. Meaning all the boys livening up the place were participants? That's right. Normally it's just us 5, but today we're going to play with lots and lots of people. Rina was innocently happy about being able to play with so many people, but my expression grew noticeably stern. Keiichi-san, I know exactly what you're thinking. Oh? Well then why don't you try saying it? Together, okay? 1, 2... These are all enemies! Satoko's voice and mine blended together in harmony. We looked over at the participants. After all, the top prize was 50,000 yen. My eyes lit up like a flame. Hey, Kei-chan. Looks like today will be fun. Well, no matter how many more rivals I have, the goal is still the same. Rivals? Kei-chan. Do you think a whale keeps track of all the krill it eats? That's a fucking metal line, oh my god. She said that in an unpleasant voice, laughing with the aggressive glint in her eyes reserved solely for club activities. Damn it, Mion. She's as serious as she can get today. I'm not the only one who's serious. Take a look at Rika-chan. Mion pointed, looking at where her finger directed me. What the heck is that? Rika-chan was using those kinds of traits to soften up the group with an almost excessive pleasantness. I'm also going to do my best. Go for it, yay! Go for it, yay! Completely emasculated, the group joined Rika-chan in a cheer. The inside of the store had been consumed by the world of Rika-chan. Damn, she's already chomping at the bit. Wow, I've missed this. I've missed this energy, you know. It's cool that we're jumping right into it. Anyone get a snack and a drink for this? I don't even know what game we're playing yet, interestingly. Like, we've not kind of really cleared that bit up yet, but hey, let's do it. It seems like today's going to be fun. I'm going to do my best. Oh. It seemed that Rina was also unusually fired up by the large crowd. Hopping about and running about, she had entirely entered into cute mode. In Rina's case, the real fun starts when her tension gauge fills up. Her happy-go-lucky attitude belied the fact that this was the state in which she was the most threatening. Well. Mion was making small talk with some of the regular customers she was acquainted with. It was like business as usual with her. Of course. If anybody thought that Mion looked ordinary, they were not qualified to be in our club. Wow. I hate gatekeepers. I don't think we should let them do anything. The shadow beneath her feet was exuding killer instinct, rising up like a chill wind. Damn it, Mion. Throwing away her honor and humanity like that. She's serious. Keiichi-san, didn't you know? The 50,000 yen prize is from Mion-san's own pockets. What? She was putting out the 50,000 yen all by herself? At that moment, a dark miasma that warped Mion's surroundings began to appear. What is it, Kei-chan? Is there something on my face? Hey, what the fuck is going on with the tone of this game? Like, we're pulling at... Okay. No, wait. I'm concerned. We're pulling out the same sort of sounds and visual effects that the first chapter used for horrendous fucking revelations for a joke. We're pulling it out for a joke. What the fuck is going to happen this chapter? This feels like a subtle fucking coded message to say, hey, you thought it was bad, or you thought it was bad before, just you fucking wait, it's gonna get worse. Eek! A shiver crept up my spine. That Mion. Cornering herself like that. She was pulling out the demon lurking within her. Hey, don't start on this shit again. We're not nearly fucking cursed enough and paranoid enough for that sort of talk yet. Fine with me. Damn it, my knees are shaking like crazy. Before I realised it, the store had filled up with even more people. However, the looks in their eyes weren't confrontational. They were looks of expectation and curiosity. They were the eyes of onlookers, who were wondering what kind of match was going to occur and who was going to win. You couldn't ask for a better stage than this. This is getting interesting. Keiichi-kun, let's do our best, okay? Do our best. Rina was already fully charged. Mortal laws and common sense hold no power before the might of Rina in her Keiichi mode. I definitely didn't want to fight her if possible. Rika-chan, do your best. We're all cheering you on. Okay, I'll do my best. Rika-chan, who was exuding way too much charm no matter how you looked at it, had already won over most of the onlookers to her side. Nonchalantly avoiding things had always been Rika-chan's creed, but for her to be blatantly laying out her machinations like this, something was definitely strange. Like Rina, she was somebody who I didn't want to fight if I could help it. Of course, the one you don't want to fight the most is Mion-san. I've been lucky to even leave alive more than a few times at the end of club activities, but I don't think there was a day that even came close to being this dangerous. Mion-san seems to have developed quite the grudge after losing that poker match a few days back, you know. It seems that way. In other words, today is just an elaborate stage for her revenge. Almost as though she was psychic, Mion turned towards us. Her eyes silently conveyed the message. You guys just figured it out now? It wasn't just Mion. Both Rina and Rika-chan were even more pumped up than they'd ever been. Yeah. One's gonna pop up today. Without a doubt, there'll be casualties. Jesus. We can't be talking about casualties. This kind of humor, this kind of comedy was really cute back at the start of chapter 1. And it was kind of funny to be like, oh, I bet this is gonna look silly down the line when everything goes to shit. Now that it has gone to shit and we're just doing the humor again, I'm like, you can't do this to me. This is agony. Fuck. It seems that somehow Keiichi-san and I are the only ones left. What do you think? Should we not have our match during the opening round? Might as well. I need to warm up before I can really kick it into gear. My spinal column shuddered like it had been struck by a bolt of lightning, and like a pillar of ice was being jammed into it. Began to freeze. I could almost see the flames backlighting Satoko with their intensity. Even then, while Satoko was displaying a normal smile, it was cold and inhuman, almost as if it were a plastic mask. What the fuck is going on right now? We're just normalizing the fucking visual scare and the scare card. Heh. You must really want to eliminate me in the opening round. You can't hide that murderous intent. Oh, that's too bad. You're being uncharacteristically cautious today, Keiichi-san. Oh, without a doubt, it was a trap. I don't know what she had up her sleeve, but if I fought with Satoko during the opening round, my loss would be more certain than if I went against Mion. The pitch-black miasma permeated the inside of the store. Did they all want to win that 50,000 yen prize that much? No, that's not right. The only ones competing for the prize money were the casual participants. I was different. I had mistaken this as just a way to fool around on a normal Sunday. It didn't matter when it was, or where it was, or who our opponents were. In our club, the goal is always the very top of the mountain. An intense flame that no strong winds could extinguish, hot enough to melt any steel, began to burn inside me. The fuse had been lit on this unprecedentedly intense club battle. It was then that the owner of the store told me in a lackadaisical voice that it was about time to begin. Is everybody ready? Listen close now. Mion began with formalities, standing in for the owner, and explained the rules of today's tournament. You're only playing to win. There is no second or third place. That's the same rule as our club. There were 15 people participating. We were to split up into 5 groups via a draw, and each group would have one winner. Each winner in the first stage would advance to the next round in order to compete in the final. Now, as for how each group will compete, each table can decide to play whatever they want. As long as the game is here in the shop, anything goes. Already in club mode DEFCON 1, I didn't let the small gap in the rules go unnoticed. Mion, can I ask a question? Won't everybody push to play the game they're good at, and not be able to agree on which one? Huh. That's right. If we can't decide, we can't start. The spectators also nodded along. It was only natural. There wasn't anybody who would simply cede to their opponent's suggestion. I'd prefer if you were all good sports and managed to come to a decision on your own, but if it comes to a stalemate, should we have the store's owner decide for you? It was an event at a toy store after all. You'd expect the owner to referee. After that, Mion's rundown continued. It ended with the rule that any losing participants would have to buy the game they lost at, a rather nice proposition for the store. First, we used a draw to split into 5 groups. Everybody lined up single file, and began to draw tickets that the shop owner had prepared. It was my turn. Alright, time to draw. No matter who I was up against, I'd crush them. At that moment, Mion began to laugh with a hawkish gleam in her eye. Of course, I'm sure you already know, but club members will have a separate penalty game than the casual participants. I thought as much. What's the gist of it? The winner gets to give the losers 1 order each. Contrary to how simple it sounded, it was a terrifying eventuality, the subject of which no one could predict. Damn you, Mion. Was she really planning on parading me around in Hinamizawa in cat ears and a banana hammock with a tail attached to something? The look on Mion's face told me she wasn't going to let me off that easy. On top of that, this time, it wasn't just the person who finished last who'd have to submit to the penalty game. The losers get 1 order each. In other words, even if you don't finish last, you still have to do the penalty game. That'd be the case. What about if there's no winner? Like if all the club members drop out midway through? Kei-chan, are you alright in the head? What? The look in Mion's eye became that of a lion baring its fangs. How exactly are the elite members of our club going to lose to some mewling newborns? Kei-chan, don't embarrass me by getting eliminated in the first round. Jesus, mewling newborns? It's fucking brutal. Even so, I didn't feel threatened. The more into it my opponent was, the stronger I would become. You just wait and see. I won't just sit here and be bullied by you, Mion. I'll show you. We shall meet. In the finals. The results of the draw were... enough to make you cry, conspiracy. All the members of the club were nicely divvied up amongst the 5 tables. How did this happen when the draw was that random? The thought that I was already caught in Mion's puppet strings made me feel uneasy. That was fine though. I'll crush all your petty tricks. Now, where were my opponents? Everybody was headed to the table corresponding to the number on their ticket. The competition at my table was... these two, huh? They look younger than me. Huh? Aren't you two classmates of mine? Oh, hi. I am Tomita. This is Okamura. Okamura greeted me by nodding his head. So my opening round was to be against my juniors from school. Just saying, but it seemed like a pretty easy matchup. Lucky. Time to destroy them without mercy. Alright then everybody, please decide on your games and start. With Mion's declaration, the inside of the store suddenly became lively. Everybody was yelling their favourite games at each other, trying to gain an advantage before they started. Even my 2 classmates, who seemed taciturn at first glance, began to fiercely insist on their own games as soon as the signal was given. Of course, I would kick those suggestions aside. There was absolutely no reason to pick a game your opponent was good at. Sorry, they're all games I don't know. Could you pick something a little more well-known? Of course, they didn't agree to the games I suggested either. I could only smirk bitterly. Naturally, after 5 minutes, this table still couldn't agree on a game. Obeying the rules, we asked the store owner to decide on a game. Clearing his throat, the shop owner brought over a board game from the back of the store. It was a game called The Game of Life. Oh, fucking hell. No, not the... That's pure luck. Much like life itself. Well, that's complex, but... The Game of Life is just roll dice, hope you land on something good. Get a good job. Don't bother with college. I don't remember. One of them's better. Quite the vintage we have here. Come to think of it, if you lose, you have to buy this game. That damn shop owner. Was he using this competition to get rid of all the games he couldn't sell? I mean, yeah, if people have good taste, they won't be buying The Game of Life. I know this one. You guys do too, right? Spin the wheel and head to the goal. Whoever has the most money after we liquidate our assets is the winner. The two nodded in agreement, and finally the game was underway. At that time, I already had a feeling of impending crisis. Yeah, Keiichi, your Game of Life didn't go so well. You kind of fucking perished on the first dice roll, in the grand scheme of things, last time. I wouldn't realise why until the game progressed a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Celebrate the birth of your child. Receive $5,000 from everybody. Sorry. Okay, I've built a bit of a lead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bonus. Receive $100,000 from the bank. What? The tables were turned in an instant? 1, 2, 3. Proceed to the corporate ladder course. Whoa, that's a good route. Seemed like only my piece was landing on the steady spaces. I had doubts as to why Rion didn't bring out board games for club activities, but that reason was laid bare to me before my eyes. That's right. I had only realised it now. This game was completely based on luck. Yeah. My god, man. You should have been afraid the moment this game came out. This is the punishment because we couldn't agree on a game. Is that it's now all down to luck alone. If we lose, we deserve it. What could I possibly do to make sure I ended up in first place at the end? Rob the bank. The ultimate outcome of this game was decided in a place beyond human hands. How were the other club members doing? My eyes naturally wandered off to the other tables. Mion's table was... What? They weren't doing anything? Had they still not decided on a game? This naive idea existed to distract me from the most frightening possibility. Mion was lounging about, leisurely holding some juice she brought from the vending machine outside in one hand. When our eyes met, she gave me a look of ease. It couldn't be. She'd already finished? What game was it? That easily? It was probably too late to be concerned with that at this point. Only 5 minutes since we started, and her two opponents were already beyond recourse. They were sitting there, slumped over in disappointment, muttering to themselves, trying to figure out where they went wrong. For that, they'd find no answer. Was there any reason for defeat, other than they sat at the same table as Mion? Then what about Rina's table? The spectators were causing quite a commotion. It looked like their game was Karuta. Karuta? The shop owner was apparently the one reading out the cards. Rina tended to dawdle along and space out a lot. Wouldn't she have a hard time with this game? Then I'll read it out. The dog gets tired on a walk. Bam. At the same instant, the shop owner began sounding out the words. The card in question disappeared off the face of the table. No, the face of the earth. Impossible. Where did it go? It was against Rina's cheek. She was rubbing it there. Oh, so cute. I'm taking it home. Looking at the card Rina was rubbing against her cheek, it was some anime-themed version of Karuta, with rather cute moe illustrations decorating the cards. Basically, it was a picture of a pretty dog girl with a slightly large chest, panting and half in tears as she was being pulled along on a chain. And you're into that, are you? Hey, I mean, to each their own. I have friends who would like this game, I guess. Yeah, I think that, yeah. Yeah, okay, well. With those types of pictures, even I could play with godlike speed. Of all the people to play that game, it had to be Rina. It was entirely possible that her fingertips were on the verge of breaking the sound barrier. It's over. Mion smiled coolly. Seeing no further reason to keep watching, she turned back. So cute, so cute! Even if I win, I'll still buy these cards. I'm taking them home. After that, the second card started being read out. Bam! Such decisive sounds echoed. Bam! Well then, how about Satoko? Oh, she was playing a rather orthodox game. Concentration. Judging from the distressed look on Satoko's face, it seemed that she was struggling somehow. One of the main characteristics of concentration is that the pace of the game speeds up as it goes on. As the number of cards to memorise decreases, it becomes easier to match several pairs in a row. It wouldn't be exaggeration to say that the first person to take over the flow of the match can run away as the winner. the cards still in play had decreased. If you memorised the cards that had been turned over before, you should have a good chance to sweep the table at this point. Satoko probably knew the positions of all the remaining cards. However, her turn came a little too late. If her opponent followed up, the match would be decided. Hoji, sorry, but I'm also aiming for the prize money. Don't hate me for this. This guy, did he have the locations of the remaining cards memorised? He was completely certain of his victory. The tension on his face relaxed. It's over. I whispered that in a bored manner as I turned my attention back to my own game. I spun the wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? No way. The Ace of Hearts should have been here. There was a commotion at Satoko's table as the shout rang out. It's not over that easily. At this rate, you're going to be only one who loses because you couldn't pick a game. The other two at my table turned around in surprise. I didn't. After all, there really wasn't anything to be surprised about. The onlookers were confounded, most of them certain that the Ace of Hearts should have been there. There's no way. I must be seeing things. It must have been because I was excited. So assured in his victory, the distress over his defeat ran deep. That's how it is. If his opponent wasn't Satoko, then the Ace of Hearts certainly would have been there. What a fool. When you're up against Satoko, you can't let your guard down for a moment until the battle is over. Keiichi-san, you still haven't finished your match? You have no sense for these things. With a refined tone of voice reserved only for winners, Satoko called out to me. For the casual observer, it must have looked like she only eked out a victory. From my point of view, however, she was only playing around. The roles of winner and loser had already been decided. It was nothing more than child's play. The laughable part about it was that her opponent didn't know his role had already been assigned. Nice work there. Setting up a farce of a trap with the Ace of Hearts. My opponent only walked into one of my traps. Even then, one was more than enough. Satoko was a trapper. Her true talent was never having one misfire. Setting off only one trap was more than enough. Ain't that cool. The fact that the other club members were winning one after another with their own brand of play only added to my impatience at my own lack of progress. Yeah, and you've wound up with a game of luck. Keiichi, you have no luck at all. Luck wouldn't dare to fucking darken your doorstep on any day of the week. Oh, right, how is Rika-chan doing? How is our club's sly little fox doing? What the heck is that? Over in that corner, the mood at the table was decidedly different from the others. The game at Rika-chan's table was... You know that battery-powered fishing game? The one where the fish opened and closed their mouths as they rotated on the platform, and you used a magnetic fishing rod to pick them up? That old thing. It seemed they planned on competing by seeing who could catch the most fish, but... It had become an atmosphere you could hardly call competitive. Wow, I caught one! You're so good! Rika-chan, you're good at this. Oh my, she caught another one! Rika-chan is really good at this. I knew that Rika-chan had already charmed her opponents, along with the onlookers, before the match had even begun, but... Brilliantly played. That corner had become an informal meeting of the Rika Furude fan club. It's Rika-chan's total victory! Total victory! Rika-chan's good at fishing, isn't she? What Rika-chan is trolling for probably isn't fish. Hearing that, she glanced over my way briefly. This is my way of getting serious. That's what I heard. This is a masterful technique that only Rika is allowed. Only Rika can do. Yeah. A masterful technique. Maibara-san, it's your turn. Oh, sorry. Yes, it is. 1, 2. Fined for tax evasion. Pay $50,000. In contrast, my game. What an unseemly situation this was. Noticing the uneasiness creeping across my face, my companions came to see how I was doing. Huh? Keiichi-kun, could it be you're struggling? You're struggling? Yeah, feel bad for me. I'm pathetic and hapless and just fucking wretched. And normally that wins your heart, right? I'm like a fucking rusty old Colonel Sanders in a trash heap. Come save me. Okamura. Right now, how much money do you have? Okamura, who had wrung lots of money out of the elite course, began to count through a stack of white $100,000 bills. About 980,000, I guess. How much money do you have, Tomita? I have 880,000. I'm still close enough to turn this around. Those two. It looked like they would easily surpass $1 million. Well, Kei-chan, how much do you have? Mion's tone of voice was grim from the get-go. It was a disappointment and disgust as club president. It can't be helped. There's no strategy involved other than spinning the wheel in this game. How am I supposed to cheat? Tell those two to close their eyes and count to 100 while I rig the wheel? You know there's no way I could do that. Rika-chan gently pet my head. Still, she wasn't too happy. How pathetic. At one point I thought you'd be a worthy adversary. I've been utterly disillusioned. Don't give up, Keiichi-kun. There has to be some way to make a comeback. Do your best. Right till the end. Like I said, how am I supposed to make a comeback with this game relying entirely on luck? Right, Mion? Mion's face, however, was almost unbelievably indifferent. Like she was watching something completely unexciting. She then turned her back without saying a word. Hey, me... It was a pathetic voice that irked even myself. I'm disappointed. Everybody was serious about this, but you're the only one who wasn't. What do you mean by serious? Are you telling me to control the spinner through sheer force of will? How can I do that? If you were serious about this, you would have settled this game 10 seconds from when you started. Mi-chan, you don't have to get so angry. Wait. Mion, in a bad mood, cast me aside and disappeared into the depths of the shop. Oh shit, we've really pissed her off, actually. If we had just picked a fucking game, if we had just been decisive, if we had just put fate in our own hands instead of not doing that, maybe we would have done better. Maybe it was because it had become an awkward situation, but the spectators dispersed from around my table. Damn it, are you saying I'm not serious about this? Are you saying if I were serious, I would have settled this game of chance in 10 seconds? If I was serious. If I was serious. Everybody was praying for my victory. They believed in me. Did I betray their expectations? Was it because I wasn't serious? Should we continue the game? The two of them were timidly trying to resume play. I didn't respond to that. The table sunk into silence. Maibara-kun, should I take that to mean you're giving up? The owner, thinking I was forfeiting, started to announce the cancellation of the game. That moment, the demon inside me let loose a howl and awakened. You really need to talk like that, man? Fucking inside me are two wolves. I get it now, Mion. What it means for me to be serious. I'll show you. Bamf. I clamped my hands on their shoulders, speaking in a low voice after pulling them closer. Tomita-kun, Okumura-kun, let's make a deal. Let me win. The two of them, not immediately understanding what I have just said or the meaning behind it, were momentarily confused. Hey, my Bara-san, no violence. Let's settle this game properly. Just listen to what I have to say. What is it you guys want? The 50,000 yen prize? Well, of course. Winning that kind of money is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Even supposing you win. What are you going to do with that money? How are you going to enjoy it? The two of them considered it briefly. Buy a new game or something? Snacks? Maybe some juice? That's petty. So petty. Are you guys stupid? Then how will you enjoy it if you win, my Bara-san? Me? Well, that's the point. Shut up and listen to what I have to say. We club members have a penalty game separate from the casual participants. If we lose, we have to obey a single command from the winner. From another point of view, the winner earns the prize of being able to order the other club members around. First of all, Tomita-kun, you like Satoko, right? Don't deny it! Next, Okamura-kun, you like Rika, right? Don't turn red! I drew the two of them, red-faced and conscious of whether anyone else had heard what I just said, even closer. Sorry, I zoned out for a minute. I'm not reading that shit out. Okay, maybe Moe. I'm not. Oh, I'm back to not reading this shit out. Why the fucking boing sound effect? God damn it, Keiichi. I think I need to see you suffering again now. Like you're getting too big for your fucking britches, okay? We need the horror to come back along and fucking put you back in your place. That sensitive age where you couldn't say you liked the girl you liked. Understanding that gave me all the more power. Tomita-kun, if I win, I'll make Shut. You could just... I mean... I guess it works. If it works, it fucking works. Bro, the fucking blood splatter? Really? Like, the last time I saw that blood splatter, we'd fucking caved our two best friends' heads in. Oh my god, this fucking game. Okumura-kun. I just, like... You're damaging the games, okay? You're gonna damage the games with that blood. Don't be shy. Just pretend I forced you to go along with me. You two are simply sacrifices to... my Bara-senpai's whims. You can pretend to be against it. I understand. I know everything that your hearts desire. Then, I suddenly lowered the tone of my voice. My school life was very bleak. I know with my very body how foolish it is to waste such an important time in your lives. So, to you, my juniors, I don't want you to live your lives like that. Be honest with yourselves. Chase your dreams. Fulfill them. I'll fulfill them for you. I will! It was this moment that the values of men bridged generations. I fucking transitioned to escape this culture. That's not true. That isn't true. That's just a pleasant side benefit, is not having to be part of this shit. Did I ever have a mentor who ever spoke my mind for me so strongly? Never. There was no way there was. That's because in a man's lifetime he'll only have 3 fateful encounters. Fucking birth, death, and taxes. It's fine then. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Game over! It was such an assertive declaration of the game's ending that everybody in the store turned and looked. It had been less than 3 minutes since I was on the verge of forfeit, and all the spectators were certain of my loss. I mean, we finally played to our strength, which is like, Keiichi's quite a good storyteller. He's good at whipping people up and, like, you know, dramatically speaking in such a way. He's also a little bit of a fucking lech. Keiichi-san, what happened? Oh, you're a bargaining chip, Satoko. Who won? It was my complete victory. What did you say? Exactly how did you overcome that situation? There's no need to explain what happened. It was a gentleman's agreement. Right, guys? Yes, sir. The two of them, stifling tears of gratitude, answered strongly from the bottom of their hearts. Exactly what kind of miracle occurred here during those 3 minutes the spectators all looked away from my utter disadvantage. You did it! You did it, Keiichi-kun! Yay! The spectators were puzzled at how I was able to so quickly overcome that hopeless situation. That guy. Is he able to control the spinner wheel with his eyes or something? It's a miracle. What devilry is this? He's in cahoots with that Mion, you know. There's no doubt he had some strange trick up his sleeve. I looked at the crowd, who couldn't help but be excited, out of the corner of my eye. Now fully awakened and in battle mode, I let out a derisive laugh. So this is what it means for me to be serious. Mion. You took your sweet time. Baring our fangs at each other, we laughed together in a most unsightly fashion. With this, all the club members have cleared the first round then. Which means, this time, it's a match against everybody. Match. I've already decided what I'm going to buy with the prize money. That's only natural. Right. Satoko and Rina smiled, sneered at each other. These guys. Do they really think they can win against Keiichi Maibara when he gets serious? Mion, that was a mistake. You shouldn't have offered me advice just now. What a mewling newborn you are. You're a million light years too early to think you can win against me. Mion. Light years are a measure of distance. Oh, she's embarrassed. She's embarrassed. What are we doing, Mi-chan? How are the 5 of us going to face off? How? Well now. We have such a splendid lineup. It would be a waste to rush things. Mi is saying something complicated again. It couldn't be. Why you? Mion's hair flowed elegantly, almost like a cape, as she turned her back to the table. As for today's contest, I, Club President Mion Sonozaki, will reserve judgment for now. Oops. The method and time are yet undecided. The more spectators, the better. It should be in front of everybody from Hinamizawa and Okinomiya. By then, we'll know the best way to finally settle things. Are you running away from this? This is too unfair, even for you, Mion-san. You newborn. Do you still not realize what has happened? The combative aura billowing out of Mion's body formed a barrier stopping Satoko's advance. We'll meet again. Prepare yourselves for your inevitable defeat. With a shrill laugh, Mion left the store. After a moment of silence, the crowd erupted into cheers. When will they resume the contest? Mion's serious. The other members did great too. That new guy, my Bara, he's got some strange power. He turned the tables in an instant. Yeah, we just involuntarily went back on our deal. Oh, well, not yet. As long as we win, we haven't. My Bara-san, you've got to win. Yeah. I'll dunk someone like Mion head first into the river Styx for you. The part of the crowd that apparently overheard the covenant between Tomita-kun, Okumura-kun and myself erupted into a cheer again. Mion's going to win anyways. She's the undefeated Empress. I'm betting on Mion. No, it's going to be Rina with that ungodly speed. Satoko the trap artist. Rika the siren. It may be a long shot, but it'll be my Bara. However, right now I had no ear for those cheerful voices. Setting the stage for this huge match and then running away like that, I wasn't going to forgive Mion. Outside of the store, Mion was getting on her bike as the shop owner was seeing her off. Don't run away, Mion. If you're the club president, don't run. Fight me! Oh, sorry, Kei-chan. Right now, I've got to get to my part-time job. Huh? Like you would see in a sketch comedy show, my legs slipped in opposite directions until I was doing the splits. Yeah, while you were playing your game, Mi-chan received a phone call. It's too bad. It was just getting good too. Not our lucky day. They're getting crushed at the sale over at my uncle's store. They don't have enough people to work the registers, so he called me to help. When you say your uncle, does he manage a supermarket or something? It's just a small store. But whenever you put stuff on special, how the housewives swarm in like locusts. Don't they have any common sense? Even though they don't have enough staff, they're selling a carton of eggs for 10 yen, limit 1 per customer. I was a little surprised. You would never think that this was the club president exuding such a dark aura inside the store just a short time ago. It was the usual Mion right now, almost exasperatingly so. My shoulders slumped. That's right. Club mode was over now. But it was really heated today. It really was fun. Damn Mion. She really knows how to fire people up. Me too. I got so fired up my head started to tingle. Especially Kei-chan. That was scary. I thought he was going to eat me alive back there. It's work, so I guess there's nothing you can do, but it really is too bad. I really want to continue this some other time. Any time is good. How about we do it at the Watsunagashi festival? Shit. The festival's not happened yet, now we know that. And there's a big event happening there now, which is us lot playing our games. Our finale, where the winner gets to boss the other 4 around. I'm sure it'll be fine. The Cotton Drift in 5 Demon Firefight. That's right. I'll think about it. Right now, what were Rika-chan and Mion talking about? Watsunagashi Festival? Oh, you don't even know about it yet. Okay. Cotton Drifting 5 Demon... What? I love it when things turn out all over the top and manga-like. It'd be nice if we could have another thrilling club activity like this soon. She laughed with a smile that made you feel refreshed just looking at it. At that moment, the shop owner came out carrying a paper bag. Wonder what it is. Is he giving it to us? Thank you everybody for today. Thanks to you, the event went really well. Well, it's not much, but here's a little something for you guys. Hey, Uncle Yoshiru. Isn't there a little something for me too? My. Quite an adorable one, is it not? When Satoko and Rika-chan opened up the bag, there were cute little animals stuffed inside. Stuffed animals. Wow, they're so cute! Can I take them home? I really can? Which means there's something for me too. Oh, I got a pretty adorable one. It was a stuffed toy, wearing a beautiful dress, one you'd use to play house. Rina's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll. Satoko was the same, and Rika-chan too. Kei-chan got the one that fit him the least. How do I say this? I could say it's pretty or cute. Well, I guess it's cute and pretty. I can admit it's adorable, but a doll with changeable clothes is... If you walked around with it, then you'd be treated like a weirdo starting tomorrow. Definitely. Hey, I don't believe in gender roles. Fucking walk around with that doll. Mion didn't have to go that far. This wasn't something a guy like me should be carrying around. Mion was the only one who hadn't received a present. So I thought about giving it to her, however, after briefly considering, I gave it to Rina instead. Huh? Oh, Mion looks sad. Why does Mion look sad? Did she want the doll secretly? You're giving it to me? To Rina? Thank you! Just protecting myself. There's a cute picture. If I didn't give it to Rina, then walking the streets at night would be scary. No doubt, no doubt. I thought about giving it to Mion, but it just didn't feel right. You know it. I sometimes wonder why I wasn't born a boy. You know, they have tablets for that. It's better that you're a girl. If you were a boy, I would have killed you already. Fucking hell, Keiichi. Little do you fucking know. You should kill me while you still can. If you don't, Kei-chan, you might not live to regret it. Mion laughed after saying such an ominous line. Everybody laughed heartily along with her. Ask God to make you a boy in your next life. I'll also have him make me a boy. Then together, the two of us will start with taking over the country as a warm-up. Mion-chan, if you don't get going soon, the shop owner told her meekly. A lot of us looked like we were having a lot of fun, so it must have been hard to put a wet blanket on things. Later then. Today was really fun. I'll see you later, guys. Tomorrow at school. Don't be late for work. Everybody waved their hands and watched as Mion left. Before I knew it, the sun was already setting and the breeze carried a hint of chill. Should we play for a bit more in town? Or should we go home? The road gets scary when it's dark. Then I guess it's time to leave. We certainly caused a ruckus today. We sure did. Okay, let's go home. The wind blew gently, as if to cool down those of us flushed with enthusiasm. The road back to Hinamizawa was long, but I didn't really mind. Oh, that's right. Rina-san, you achieved an overwhelming victory, didn't you? When Rina gets like that, I'm sorry to say it, but there's no winning against her. It was because the cards were so cute. See? I brought them. Ah. Rika was the same as usual. When it comes to boys, it's like taking candy from a baby. It was an easy win. How much was calculated and how much was natural? I get scared when I think about how Rika will turn out in the future. Satoko-chan was amazing too. The way it ended was really exciting. It wasn't the sort of game where I should be complimented. Oh, Keiichi, you also showed your fangs at the end there. Huh? Well, I guess. I'm the type of guy who's strongest when he's cornered. Tomita-san and the others seem to be cheering you on really hard. What was that about? He made some sort of promise with Tomita and Okamura. It's probably a secret. Secret? A secret? Oh, I wonder what it is, I wonder. Sometimes, for a man, there are times we can only understand one another by fighting. Desperately laughing, I frantically tried to avoid the subject. After that, everyone continued to praise each other how they defeated their opponents, and reflected on how fun today was. Oh, that's pretty. Everybody look! The sunset is beautiful! Satoko, getting even more excited, pointed. Waiting where her finger indicated was an immense sunset, casting even longer shadows of us on our bikes. The cries of the Higurashi were gentle and very comforting. Wow, that was a long section. Is that even the end of the chapter, or are we just at that midway point? Ah, new tip acquired. Use Mion's uncle. Ah, I guess we have finished a chapter. Well, let's have a look at this tip. Who is Mion's uncle? I wonder, well, I mean, judging from, like, the logo for the game and, like, this picture on Steam, I wonder if this is going to be quite a Mion-focused chapter. Well, let's find out about Mion's uncle, then. Yep, sorry. I suddenly got called into my part-time job at my uncle's shop today. What's that? No club today, then? Well, I'm sorry. Mion pulled her hands together in apology and grinned. If you really want to do club today, then you can always do it without this old man. The club locker is stuffed full with games. You can pick whatever. The club locker was the trans-dimensional space from which Mion pulled games whenever we met for club activities. Hey, you know what I'm curious? I think I mentioned this like in a written part in the first chapter, but I want to sort of ponder something quickly again. Because in the first chapter, I was quite astounded at how everything was so properly kept under wraps. All the secrets of the past, all the sort of conspiracy was kept so secret and safe, but someone really fucking dropped the ball having a massive clue of Satoshi's existence there, like in the Cluedo game. It feels weird and out of place. Like, what an odd mistake to be made. For that to just be accessible, it makes me worry that, like, it got put in there specifically for Keiichi to see it. But I don't know how that would work. Hypothetically speaking, if that were the case, if it had been purposefully put in there, then I feel like it could only really have been one of the other club members. But I don't know. I simply don't know. It could also just have been a genuine mistake, to be fair. Not everything is a conspiracy. I wondered how so many freaking games could be stored in a locker. It was even smaller than the one with the cleaning supplies in it. Besides those games, it was also a cornucopia of suspicious objects, costumes, for punishment games. If we lined them all up on the floor in order to sort them, they would definitely fill the entire classroom. We shouldn't. I get the feeling that if I mess around in that locker, everything inside will come tumbling down on me. Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe amateurs shouldn't meddle with this. Hehehe. Mion gave a hearty laugh, implying the only one who could do so was the club president. Me. The teacher is looking for the key to the gym storehouse. Do you have any idea where it could be? Did I not return it to the teacher's lounge? Mion said, feeling about in her pocket. Judging by her expression, she must have planned on returning it, but it was still in her pocket. I knew you had it, Mion-san. I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that you simply must have been the one who had it. I was right too. Satoko and I were both right. Giggling, Satoko and Rika-chan clapped their hands together in celebration. You're annoying. Slap clap. Mion elbowed Satoko and Rika-chan in their heads, then headed for the teacher's lounge. Oh, right, have you two heard? Mion has a part-time job and that's why she's not coming to the club. Oh, is that so? Well, that's very droll of her. Meep. The two of them made disappointed faces. Whatever anyone said, Mion's club was always the number one thing I looked forward to when going to school. It wasn't hard to agree with their melancholic expressions after hearing it wouldn't be happening today. So Mion's got a part-time job. I wonder what she's doing anyway. Whenever Mion cancelled club, it was usually because of her job. However, it also didn't seem like she went there every day. She would go 2 or 3 days in a row and not go at all for a while. It sounded like a pretty damn random part-time job. She isn't working at any one shop or anything. She isn't? Then does that mean she's a day labourer? Mion, wearing socks and a helmet, sweating to death in a factory. I couldn't imagine such a thing. Mion-san helps her uncles out whenever their employees go on vacations. She's like a handyman. Ah, I get it. Now that you mention it, her having a job at her uncle's place. I think I've heard about that before. She has a lot of uncles who run their own shops, so Mi is in very high demand. She has a lot of uncles who own shops. A lot of them? Oh, you were unaware, Keiichi-san? There are many relatives of Mion-sans in Okinomiya who run their own stores. Huh, I didn't know that. So they're all different kinds? Yes, there's a bakery, a produce market, a ramen shop, and many others besides. That toy store we went to for the club the other day is one of them. I was dumbfounded. That's amazing. Is Mion's family blessed with some kind of crazy business sense? They run so many different things, it's kind of amazing. There are others, like a loan shark, a land shark, a strip club, and a brothel. What I'm saying is they do lots of things. Okay, a couple of weird things came up that time, but still. Yeah, wow. Mion's family sure do have their fingers in a lot of fucking pies. Also, it disturbs me that fucking Rika's just saying, like, talking about strip clubs and brothels so naturally. I could still tell it was pretty extensive. So the reason she's so fussy about returning money she lent you is because the blood of loan sharks runs through her veins, huh? That explains that. Once, I completely forgot to pay me back for money she gave me to go shopping. And she threatened me, saying that if I didn't return it all, she'd throw me into the red light district and that would be the end of me. Rika-chan being sold into the entertainment industry to pay off her debts? Shut up. Dying by being thrown on the ground must be the silliest form of death I've ever heard of. Huh? She doesn't really get it, does she? Well, she's a child. Recently she seemed so unspoiled. Rika-chan and I gave her a pat on the head. Why are you petting me? We're petting you because you're a good girl, Satoko. Satoko was lost in confusion, but she seemed to understand she was being made fun of. Well. Chapter 2 is launching very much in the same way that Chapter 1 did. Just a nice, sort of chilled out time when absolutely nothing could go wrong. Kinda reminds me that I missed it, but I'm going to be very excited to be learning more once more as we go on. And I'm very excited to read more. But it's late at night, so I must stop. What the hell is happening? What's gonna happen this time? What happened last time? What's going on? Why are we just fucking starting again? What the fuck?